Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Ah, yes. Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, but please, won't you call me the Black Marigold? And across from me is the captain. The captain. That's real.
No.
Yeah, come on. You are
Stop.
the captain. It's Philip Restisher. Evening.
Good evening, though. That is super embarrassing.
Come on. You've earned it. You don't do the stuff in the middle as long as you have, and not be the captain.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think you're just as important as I am.
Because I do the stuff to get us up, and I take us back down?
Yeah, you get us up, and you get us down. And those are just as important as the middle.
Okay.
Some would say even more important, because I spend a lot of times just, I'm keeping it straight. I'm keeping it straight. I'm keeping it at 7 knots.
There are engineers working around the clock to try to get those gauges to watch themselves, but they will not do it. They need someone with a steady hand like yourself.
This show is built on the back of his back. Well, thank you very much. I think we're both equally important, but it's nice to hear once in a while. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. Spring is here.
It's sprung.
Right.
This is the 27th of March. I mean, out like a lamb.
I always say that.
Bah.
It's pretty good. That's actually really good.
You want me to do it again?
Yeah, I would like to hear that one more time.
Well, you set me up for it.
They say you come in like a lion and out like a lamb.
Bah.
No. Oh, incredible.
Thanks.
Oh.
Dated a lamb once.
Oh, did you? Like an actual...
Well, no, I dated a girl who was on the lamb.
Okay, I was going to say, sometimes they say a WASP. It's like a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, a WASP.
Wow.
So I didn't know if lamb stood for... What do you think lamb would... LAMB, what would that stand for, like in talking about a person and their who they are for dating?
A lesbian as sorry, pardon me. Mm-hmm. A lesbian as agnostic was...
Mm-hmm. Agnostic.
Agnostic. Mm-hmm. Being manipulative... bitch.
A lamb. So you date. But that's not who you dated. You dated someone who's on the lamb who committed a crime.
On the lamb.
Did you provide them shelter in their time of need?
Oh yeah, I did stupid stuff. I ever tell you about the time the girl that moved in with me? I didn't even know. I didn't realize it.
She was on the lamb.
Yeah, she was on the lamb.
Let's hear it.
She had a coke problem, or a recovering coke problem. But I met her at a bar once. Took her home. Did what I needed to do to get through the day.
Yeah.
This was back in my party days, obviously.
Sure.
The next morning I got up. I was like, I got to go to work. So I came home, and she was there, and the house was completely...
Like she had never left?
Yeah. The house was completely clean. She was looking sexy.
Why did you leave to go to work having left this barfly in your bed?
The next day, same thing. I got up, went to work, came home, and she was there, and dinner was cooked, and she was looking sexy. This went on for about probably 2 or 3 weeks.
And you had just met her?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just met her. Didn't know her before. Then I noticed that my closets were like, there was a lot less room in the closets.
Just full of tampons.
Didn't think about, no, I didn't, don't get there yet.
Okay.
Another week went by, there was pictures, like framed pictures of people that were not
strangers.
Strangers
in your house.
Stranger in my house. Then didn't think anything every day.
Didn't think anything of framed pictures of strangers in your house. Okay.
One night, I took a shower. Went to get some Q-tips from underneath the bathroom sink.
Sure.
There was a box of tampons. All of a sudden, it hit me. I walked out of the bathroom and said, "You can't be living here." What was happening was her friend was bringing her stuff over during the day while I was at work, and I was such a drunk, such a just oblivious to what was going on around me, just only focusing on breasts and legs and buttocks.
Yeah.
And this weird thing that she did with her tongue.
Yeah.
That I didn't even realize that this person had moved into my house. She didn't have a job. She did not have a car.
Were you having sex with her every night?
Every night.
And so, okay, this is very funny to me. Forgive me.
I'm surprised I never told you the story.
You have lived an incredible life by any stretch of the imagination. So the woman you just meet, you bring her home and you just allow her to stay. As long as there's food hanging around and the place is clean, you're like, this is okay. But the tampons, that crossed the line. That is an old sitcom trope, right?
I don't necessarily think it was tampons but the tampons are what made my brain click. Like, made me realize what was going on around me.
And what happened then? Did she leave and that was the last time you saw her?
It was really bad. She was like, what do you mean? And I was like, you can't be living here. And so I packed my car up with as much stuff of hers, and I took her, we were driving into Chillicothe, because and I was like, where do you want me to drop you off? She's like, just drop me off at the gas station. So the Shell station that's right as you're going into the Chillicothe, I pulled over, and I said, are you sure? I said, I'll take you to somebody's house. She's like, no. She was, I was right here. And so I just dropped her and her stuff off at...
Is that the last time you ever saw her?
That's the last time I ever saw her.
Jeez. Do you ever Facebook look her up?
I don't remember what her name was.
Had a female roommate that you were sleeping with.
It was
didn't even know her
recovering
name.
cokehead.
Wow. And she was on the lam for crimes committed?
She had to have been, right? Why else would she have tried to make herself at home?
Or asked to be dropped off at a gas station?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew,
That's all true, folks. That's not a bit. That's all true.
Should be a different show altogether. It is not. It is Couch Pilots.
Sorry. How did we get there?
It's fine.
Oh, lamb. Lamb of God.
The simple mention of the word lamb and your impression thereof. But that's fine. That's what this show is.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, people love this. People are always saying, I want to know more. Tell me more about your personal life. And there's a great window in it right there.
Well, because Couch Pilots is more than just watching a show every week. Like, it's more than just, hey, what show did you watch this week? They want into our lives of how we became pilots. You know, they love DSJ stories, but they want to know more about us. They're like, they want to feel like they are a part of our lives.
Podcasting is a very intimate format.
Intimate. I'm naked right now.
Yeah, as am I. From the waist down, of course. I'm civil.
That'd be just craziness.
But thank you for laying this sheet down on this chair that I'm sitting on. You're going to want to wash that for sure. But anyone can talk about failed pilots, but you better like the people that are presenting to you. And what better way to like us is in getting to know us. And if that means talking about a recovering cokehead, then that's exactly what we're going to talk about.
I think it's important. It's important. I'm hoping that I save a male listener's life. Like, I hope by me telling my story, this doesn't happen to you.
Yeah. I would almost say I hope it does happen to someone. It sounds like a very interesting story, and I was wildly entertained by it.
I'm not saying it was a bad time. I'm not saying it was a bad time.
You slipped that thing in there about her tongue. Don't think I didn't hear that. I'm storing that away for a rainy day. But we do want to
Gave me a reason to keep my butt clean.
Oh, no. Jeez. Oh, boy.
I told too much.
Can a tongue be long enough to hit the prostate?
Oh, I don't think so.
Not even Gene Simmons?
No, because to me, like, as the further you go into the anus, the rectum, I mean, the dirtier it is. Like, you can only clean so far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got a sonic care up there, right?
Right. So, I mean, I'm only going to allow so much work to be done. There's only so much landscaping that can be done around before you start digging a hole.
You got to bleach your asshole. You got to shave it.
Oh, no.
Or wax it. You got to get a coffee enema, right? You got to drink a bunch of Miralax. Really clean yourself out.
I didn't think of those things.
You got to drink a pint of pineapple juice.
She didn't ask me to do any of that.
No, she was just like, you don't want to know what I've done for Coke? This is a walk in the park, right?
You're just giving me a place to live. I'm not even asking for a kilo from you. A dime bag.
A kilo is quite a bit. Walking around with a fucking backpack full of Coke.
8-ball. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
8-ball.
All right.
Eazy-E's fucked up and got the 8-ball rolling.
Oh, R.I.P. Easy. Yeah, he died of AIDS.
AIDS will kill you.
AIDS will get you.
AIDS will get you every time. Except if you're Magic Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, no.
We are not. I threw this way off.
Or way off course. That's fine. Something to bring us back on course is someone who keeps us on course on a weekly basis. That's a guy by the name of Down Syndrome John. We call him Tarmac John. We call him DSJ, whatever. He's out there on the tarmac. He's waving those golden cones. He's a young man, actually a man of indiscriminate age, I should say.
Sure.
Recently married, now recently widow. He's a widower.
Yeah, the last episode when we did "Hail Honey, I'm Home," I did get a phone call during it, and it seems as though DSJ's mom and Harrison Ford were dating, and they were all...
More has come out about that, and that seems to be the case.
Right, and they're all... they were in a prop plane together, a 4-person prop plane.
Harrison Ford just cannot keep it in the air. He's always crash landing planes or causing trouble somewhere.
But what I don't understand is he drives the Millennium Falcon like it's nobody's business, which is huge.
That's true.
The Millennium Falcon is huge, but he can't drive the prop plane right.
Interesting to me. I don't know if Peter Mayhew was with him or not, the man who plays Chewbacca. Maybe he needs a Peter Mayhew to sit in his co-captain's chair.
Maybe he thought DSJ knew more than he does. Like, DSJ knows all about getting us up and getting us down, but he doesn't know all the stuff in the middle.
Maybe Harrison Ford did a DNA check, because honestly... DSJ, DNA-wise, is closer to Chewbacca than you or I, so maybe he thought this man who is close to DNA in a Chewbacca or a Wookiee would be able to guide me like Chewbacca so often has in the past, but not the case at all. They've gotten into an accident. DSJ's wife, unfortunately, has passed away. His mother, who has been his keeper his entire life, she's in a coma. I think Harrison Ford is okay. We don't know for sure, and we're just really worried about him because he was excited to be married. He actually got another woman pregnant who's currently going to have his child.
Right,
and
that's two. I mean, he had two separate things going on there, but now
he's got a lot going on in his life.
His mom's in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
We are monitoring that. We told DSJ that we would do anything we could to help him. Like if he wants us to take the plane over to Mobile, Alabama to transport her,
that's where the accident was, in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah. If because our plane's big enough, if he wants us to go and help, transport her back instead of a life flight or something like that,
we need to get one of those medical
buoys.
We need a buoy, but we have to lock. We have to have the wheels that lock. Otherwise, she's going to be flying all around the plane in the back. Sure. And
I got some zip ties.
We sent some flowers down to pay our respects, as well as a Russell Stover chocolate variety pack. Yeah. So hopefully that's enough.
We went to the funeral for Penelope. It was sparsely. It was only like 3 people. Like DSJ, me, and you were there.
He met her and married her in Las Vegas.
Right.
And I will say the stripper to civilian ratio was wildly out of whack. I feel like there was a lot of strippers there paying their respects. So that almost drives home the fact that, yes, this woman, Penelope, was in fact a stripper in Las Vegas.
Right. And I think she married him for his money. She found out he had money.
Yeah.
So R.I.P. to her. I guess I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but I think she was,
a little bit of a gold digger.
I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
Yeah. But she ain't messing with broke downsy. I will say that we've been taking a lot of casseroles over to John lately. He is back and forth between here. Because, is his mother his caretaker his entire life? Is she in a coma in Alabama? Absolutely. But, John, I don't want to fire you. You better be here every Monday getting us off the ground.
Right, and we're helping him. We show him how to wash his clothes once a week. I go through with steps and everything.
Actually, would you be able to show me how to do that as well?
To wash clothes?
Yeah.
I guess. You can come over and I'll go through the same scenario I go with DSJ.
I don't know how common or uncommon this is, but it's just at my house there's just a lot of Febreze.
Oh, that's fine. It's fine. It's here nor there.
All right, cool.
So, for all listeners, DSJ is coping. He doesn't really seem to be missing her, but he's missing his mom more than Penelope.
Yeah, there's a double whammy for this young man.
Right. That's a lot to take in.
And he said Harrison Ford told him at the end of the flight he would sign his copy of Star Wars Episode 1, which is his favorite movie of all time. And that never happened. Yeah. So it's almost like a triple whammy.
Right. if you want to send cards, letters, messages of support to DSJ, couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com. Go to couchpilotspodcast.com. This makes it really easy. Go to couchpilotspodcast.com.
Everything you need is right there.
Go to contact tab. There's a thing. It'll send an email to us. You just type in it. It's great.
It's a new add-on from our Libsyn account, and it's everything you need. Couch Pilots is right there. It's super easy. All of our social media stuff is right at your fingertips. Go on there today. Click it. Drop us a line. Drop a digital e-card. Get well soon to DSJ's mother. She would love it. And honestly, I hate to dangle this out there, but all of our listeners, affectionately known as frequent flyers, if you send DSJ a card, absolutely you're going to get some frequent flyer
points. We're going to back
points.
in those points easy. Mm-hmm. I mean, we would be horrible people not to.
Yeah, and of course, the frequent flyer points, anytime you listen to the show, anytime you tell a friend or download the show, anytime you participate in social media, or even just physically telling one of your friends about our program, you're going to get frequent flyer points. They add up to surprise prizes, signed aviator glasses. Sometimes people even cash on a bunch of points, and they get to sit in on the flight with us.
Amazing.
So it's a fantastic way to get involved with the show.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for people to hang out and be involved.
I am actually looking for some information to what is going on your phone, because you are going... I don't know why you're on your phone, but what is going on over there?
Well, we got we do fan feedback every episode.
Absolutely. We got some coming up here.
And we did. But we had some that just came hot off the presses, and I would be remiss if I didn't read this one as well as read the other one. This just came in.
And who is this from?
This is from Dee. D-E-E? D-E-E.
Do you know D-E-E-D-E?
No, I don't. I don't know anything about her, but he or she will find out. Okay, here we go. Fantastic. Finally got a chance to put a face to the pilots. Greetings from Down Under in Queensland.
All right. We love our friends down under. Hello to the consumption, failure to launch, and all of the listeners that they've directed this way.
Been a loyal listener for about 4 months, quote, parentheses, ever since failure to launch gave you a plug on their show.
Very nice.
And I've tried to catch up on all your back catalog by listening to roughly 6 to 8 a week.
Holy shit. Thank you very much.
Dee, thank you very much. Loved how the show has progressed since the beginning. I worked night shifts cleaning shopping center car parks on a sweeper, so it's very lonely. Oh, my God.
Oh, I'm sorry.
During the darkness. Oh, jeez.
You know, down there when it's dark, it's light here. Did you know that?
Interesting fact.
And also, there's no caves there.
But I'm glad I have Air Force One to keep me company. Please pass my greetings on to the First Lady of Air Force One, Ms. Garcia, Richard, don't call me Dick, DSJ, and Stella, the hostess.
Yep.
Okay. I have also included some posters I did up for DSJ when he was missing. I left it blank because I had no idea what he looked like. I will continue to watch the skies at night just in case you fly off course and need emergency landing strip. P.S. I have torches ready. They are not golden. They are red. Will they do? Dee. She made a little wanted poster sign. Of course, she left it blank. I'm assuming this is a woman. I don't want to. This is amazing.
I heard your phone vibrate. Why you keep it up here in the console in the cockpit? I'll never know.
It's just for this kind of stuff right here.
But exactly right. I look at your face, and you're reading it while I'm talking about the plight of DSJ, and your face is just glowing. It's exciting, and rightfully so. What an incredible piece of fan feedback!
This is our first fan feedback from a different country, basically. I mean, except failure to launch. This is the first feedback from a different country.
And a lot of times we hear kind of funny and joking around stuff from people. This is an extremely heartfelt, from the heart. This is a completely honest and earnest piece of fan feedback.
What? Dee, let's high five that shit.
High five her. Dee, you're doing the Lord's work cleaning up shopping centers. We appreciate that very much. I bet it is lonely work. So if we can keep you happy, if we can keep you entertained while you're doing that, then more power to you.
Right, and Dee, I promise I will get back to you tomorrow. By the end of this episode, I'll be way too intoxicated, but I will get back to you, I promise. We have one more fan feedback. Again, thank you very much to Dee. She timed it perfectly, didn't she?
I will also say that absolutely the red torches will do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And back at all of our training, it was red cones. We adopted the golden cone strategy. One of our mentors told us about that. Captain Phillip, who was with us recently, he's adopted the gold cones. But yeah, red torches absolutely will do. So we'll keep an eye out for that when we head down to the southern hemisphere.
Thank you, Dee Dee. This comes from Tyler. Don't call him Abercrombie and Fitch.
Is that his own saying?
No, I'm calling him that.
Okay, good.
His last name is Abercrombie. I don't know if we're supposed to say
Probably
that.
not say that.
Okay, well, this is Tyler Abercrombie and Fitch. And we all know recently Tyler has given us a new tag that we use quite a bit, which is called Salami. Much like you guys, I've noticed the lack of feedback from Big Dick T. We talked about that, how Lori Garcia, love her to death, but we didn't get as much back from Big Dick T, and he was the one that really started.
Just like the torch that Dee Dee was just talking about, I think Big Dick T has kind of passed the torch over to Lori Garcia. She's really ran with it.
But Tyler says, I've noticed there's a lack of feedback from Big Dick T. I came to the conclusion that Ms. Garcia did, in fact, murder her lover after she was confronted by him over her alcohol abuse.
Oh, my God.
That's when I stumbled upon another theory. Ms. Garcia came home one night and Mr. T, Big Dick T, don't call him Dick, tired of her constant henpecking, strangled Mrs. Garcia. Mr. T, Big Dick T, don't call him Dick, then disposed of the body and then returned home to go over an alibi. With nothing plausible in sight, Big Dick T, don't call him Dick, cut off his own penis and assumed the identity of Ms. Garcia. Whew, you have in fact been getting fan feedback from Big Dick T.
Wow.
Whose Tinder alias is now Tight PV, just as Lori Garcia. Tyler?
This is incredible. There's so many different levels here. I want to first go back to Dee Dee's email, and then this bleeds right into what Tyler was saying. These fans who are separated by hemispheres of the world, they're interacting.
Their
with
water
each other.
goes separate ways.
Yeah.
Down the toilet.
The most noticeable difference, or notable difference, is that the waters will flush different. If you're on the equator, it goes straight down. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Interesting fact.
Pretty cool.
But these fans are now feeding each other back and interacting with each other. And it's just so delightful. And Tyler, I can't say or speak to anything that he's saying, whether it's true or not. It damn well is very interesting.
But I know for a fact that we're going to uncover something just from reading this. We're going to uncover something. I can feel it.
I think Tyler is kind of the couch pilot's conspiracy theorist. He takes in all this information that we get out.
The unsolved mystery guy. What was that guy's name?
He's the Robert Stack.
He's the Robert Stack of couch pilots.
I should know that name. I do. But that's exactly his role here at Couch Pilots is to take the information that we put out and creating a mythology behind it. He's the librarian. He's the archivist of Couch Pilots for sure.
I tell you what. First of all, Dee Dee and Tyler both get 1,500 frequent flyer points each. But I'm gonna do something special for both of these guys.
What? This is incredible.
If they private message me, DM me as they say,
nice.
Their addresses, and I mean this overseas is going to cost us thousands of dollars, but I'll do it.
Right.
I will send an autographed copy of show notes to each one of them. The last 2 episodes, we'll both sign it.
Okay.
And I'll send them autographed copies of our original show notes.
Incredible. That, you know what? It's not like we can just make copies of this.
Oh,
they're one and done.
No,
you know,
I don't want to make copies of it because that takes the authenticity away.
These are original show notes we take when we watch these pilots. Yep. This is incredible. This is
because I love fan feedback. I love when my face was lighting up when I saw Tyler's earlier, and then when I saw Dee's come in as we were recording, and found out she's from Queensland.
And it's, you know what time it is there? It's like 1 a.m.
It's time to get ill.
It's time to get ill in Australia right now. And she took the time away from getting ill to write fan feedback.
High five that, and high five Failure to Launch, because if it wasn't for them, she would have never found out about us.
God save the king. Very good. Very good. Let's board this plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
You know, my name might be Captain Jason, but I'm just like you. I'm a human being. I have a job. I have responsibilities. I have bills to pay. I have a life just like you. I make the choice for it to not be mundane. I take mundanosity and I poop right in its face. I say, no, thank you. I am taking to the airs and I am going to find television shows that had only one episode and I am going to alert the masses.
Right. We watch them so you don't have to.
Absolutely right.
Our tagline.
Yep. Today, go ahead.
You know, there's been hundreds of instructors, teachers, all through pilot school that said, you guys shouldn't be in the air.
We are breaking all the rules.
We do this for you. We do this for Dee Dee. We do this for Tyler. We do this for Adam Z. We do this for Biggie. We do this for Dustin. We do this
for Stella, the stewardess.
She's got her groove back.
Yeah.
She really does have her
Hey,
groove
who helped
back.
her find it? Us.
God,
She came to us grooveless.
She had no groove whatsoever. I'm so pumped to do this episode right now because I feel like now, like I have to do a good show
for Dee Dee, for Tyler, for all of the frequent flyers who are accumulating frequent flyer points. And you know what? Today we discuss the pilot episode of Young Macgyver from the year of our Lord 2003. Great year.
Pretty much a really good year. I really started to get sexually active in 2003.
Okay.
Wait, that's not right.
No, that's not right at all.
I get 90s and the thousands mixed
Sometimes
up.
the decades get lost, don't they?
They're a decade of Desitin.
Desitin? The diaper? Is that what you put on your asshole? The decade of Desitin?
We have fun, don't we?
Oh, fantastic. Ooh, boy.
How old was I?
You're 28.
You were 22.
Yeah.
Legally could drink for a year now.
And I chose not to for a long time.
Really?
Oh, I didn't drink for a long. I never had I think I had a sip of beer when I was like 5. My dad's like, "Hey, drink this shit." And I was like, "This is shit. You're right." And I didn't drink till I was my 30s.
Really? Congratulations.
I guess.
A lot of heroin, though.
A man's got to ride the pony one way or the other, you know? I chose heroin. Some chose beer.
Yeah.
I don't regret my choice.
You know what? You've clawed your way out of that hole. Mm-hmm. You know, no train spotters for you.
No, none for me whatsoever. Let's go back in time. Let's take a trip back to the year 2003 so we can properly be in the mindset to digest this pilot. 2003, voters recall Governor Gray Davis from office and elect Arnold Schwarzenegger to succeed him.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. Arnold Schwarzenegger, whose claim to fame was he was a bodybuilder, a professional bodybuilder, and then was a movie star in like movies such as Conan, such as
Twins.
Kindergarten
Cop.
And they let him be in charge of a whole big area.
Well, I mean, I think on a whole, we are very stupid, right?
Oh, we're so stupid.
I mean,
not us, but like...
No, you and I are extremely intelligent. B-list actor Ronald Reagan. I'm the president of the United States. Your fired catchphrase apprentice Donald Trump, president of the United States. Bodybuilder, or not bodybuilder, but professional wrestler Jesse the Body Ventura, governor of Minnesota. This may be the exception that proves the rule, but Senator Al Franken. He was a writer for Saturday Night Live in the Coke Fuel days. He's a senator for this country. Right. Arnold Schwarzenegger, to me, it makes sense with what this country's done, but it doesn't mean it's right.
No, nothing we do is right.
You like Schwarzenegger? Do you like his movies?
No. I don't like his face. His face makes me very uncomfortable. And I think he wasn't The Apprentice canceled, or he was taken off The Apprentice recently.
Yeah. He was fired, or he quit, or something based on, I don't know, some bullshit. People spin it whatever they want.
Spin it whatever they want it.
The Governor Gray Davis. Who has a baby and says, "I'm gonna name that kid Gray"?
Maybe it was a dark, overcast day. It was rainy and drizzly.
Maybe so. So someone
maybe
said,
they were ashy.
Said whatever the weather is. That's
yep.
What's the worst outcome of weather that you would name your kid?
Hurricane.
Yeah.
Typhoon.
Rock you like a hurricane. Come on.
Touch me, babe.
Justice Roy Moore is suspended when he refused to take down the 10 Commandments from an Alabama state justice building.
Fuck, whatever.
What do you think about that?
Church
Separation?
and state.
Do you believe in
Separate
that?
that shit. We ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah,
God don't need to be in the government, and government don't need to be in God.
right. Yeah,
That's like the human centipede is basically what that is.
it is just like the human centipede, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I like to make you laugh.
I enjoy laughing. Some would say it's the best medicine.
I think penicillin was pretty good.
Penicillin's a good medicine.
You know what? NyQuil PM, liquid form,
Knock you out.
great.
Yeah. The ABC's 2020 airs the controversial Granada television documentary Living with Michael Jackson. Remember that?
No.
I do. It had that Indian guy, I think, who was interviewing him, and he spent, I think, a couple months with Michael Jackson. And they went around, and I think the thing that really stuck out to me is I think they were in Las Vegas or something buying sarcophaguses.
Now you're a big Michael Jackson fan. I mean,
Michael Jackson.
anybody that listens to IBWIP or Couch Pilots knows that you're a fan.
Yes. I like to separate the man from
the state.
From the state, yeah, just like church and state. That's right. So, I don't think I ever saw that entire documentary. I don't know if I want to. I don't want to peer into the life of a child
Rapist.
rapist. That's exactly right. No, I want to. I don't want to peer into the life of a man who was never told no,
Right.
who was showered with money and women, and basically never got a chance to have a childhood or grow up or become a typical person. Someone who was just kind of.
Yeah, he never had a chance from the beginning.
His music was awesome.
It was.
When it was firing in all cylinders.
R.I.P.
There's nothing better than a Michael Jackson song. I don't know if I'll ever want to watch that, but you said you're not even familiar with that documentary.
I don't remember it at all.
Controversial?
Living off the wall, baby, don't. Living off the wall.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I liked the early stuff, like from like Thriller back is what I really liked.
So Off the Wall, like you mentioned, Thriller, and then was there anything before Off the Wall that wasn't Jackson 5, or was that his first solo effort?
I think that had to have been his first solo effort, but God, he was, back then it was just the groove,
It was awesome. Yeah, it's kind of his Motown.
Stella got her. That's how Stella got her groove back.
Yeah, you know what? Stella is an old lady. She's an old lady. She didn't have her groove, and we had to introduce this old lady to Michael Jackson. And I'll be damned if she didn't get her groove back almost immediately.
Amen.
Amen to that, and amen to why we chose to watch Young Macgyver.
I got this.
You got it? Okay.
3 reasons why we chose this. The 3 criteria in which Couch Pilots bases its selection off of.
We don't exist without these criteria.
First, it had to be a one pilot, never went to series, one-off wonder. Whether it was aired or not, that's irrelevant.
That's for the gods to decide.
The Greek gods.
Or
Are there
church and state.
Australian gods?
Well, I mean, I think didgeridoo, right? You got didgeridoo. You got rain stick.
The Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, the Paul Hogan special.
And second, we had to find it. We can't watch it. We can't rate it. We can't do anything about it if we can't watch it. So it has to be readily available on the interwebs. Number 3.
Do you think that Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, would be called the crocodile hunter if he could never find a crocodile?
Right. No, he would just be some Australian guy
Just the hunter.
with a knife.
Yeah.
Knife guy.
Yeah. I wouldn't watch that show.
Dee Dee wouldn't watch it either.
No.
And last one, it had to be free. I mean, we have no money whatsoever. We've spent it all on this plane. We've been sending flowers to DSJ's mother. Mm-hmm. We helped with the burial for Penelope. So we have nothing. And so it had to be free.
That's absolutely right. If you don't meet those criteria, then you can turn around and you can exit. And don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you.
And if you don't like it, you get the fuck out.
That's exactly right. So where can you find Young Macgyver? Everyone's asking themselves. At this point in the show, they're clamoring for more information. Well, you can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, and you know what to do, Tube.
I love when you say that. I hated it at the beginning. I hated it.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
And as we take to the skies, there is a DSJ-sized hole in the tarmac. Boy.
Now, how much Now, you gave him bereavement time off, right?
Yeah.
How long are we going to let that slide?
1 day.
Okay.
1 day it is. And why did you hate YouTube? You know what to do tube when we first did it? Is it because it was so good you couldn't stand it, or?
I think I was intimidated.
Yeah.
Because you get everything, you get it up,
You do everything in the middle.
and you get it down,
Right.
And I kind of felt inferior.
Well, I'm sorry. That was definitely not the intent. I just wanted to rhyme nonsensical words. That's all I wanted to do.
You did a great job. Everything, just like a hemorrhoid, you got to get used to it.
Yeah, exactly like a hemorrhoid. Summary of the pilot. Angus Macgyver's nephew quits school and joins the Phoenix Foundation, but he finds it difficult to follow in the shoes of his famous uncle. That's okay. That's an okay summary.
But it summarizes the synopsis. To me, that summary summarizes, like, again, it shrunk it down, overly shrunk it. So, like, you're like way off.
Yeah, I think the synopsis is an outline, and then you have the show in its entirety. And the summary should be summarizing the show in its entirety. The summary should not be summarizing the synopsis.
Right, exactly. This is at SNS right now. This is at SNS for sure.
Thank you.
S and S. Thank you, Rihanna. S and M. Do you remember that song?
No.
Rihanna's S and M?
No, I don't know anything about that.
I've never had sex with a black girl.
Yeah.
Unlike you.
Okay.
Have you had sex with more than one black girl? Or just the one? This phone is blowing up with fan feedback. I love it.
Saved by the bell on that one. Who do you got?
This is Dustin.
Oh.
Never mind.
Was it fan feedback?
No. It's feedback in regards to his wonderful new site.
Excellent. Interesting facts.
Let's do it.
Sometimes I just like to throw that out there.
Oh, it's fine.
Sometimes I just like to surprise you with, hey, interesting facts.
Conrad Rule!
Conrad Rule coming through. Conrad Rule.
Please excuse the man. The podcast is going to happen, but Conrad has to come through first.
The Conrad Rule is as follows. The name of the section is Interesting Facts. It's only the name of the section. These facts are what they are. Whether you think they're interesting or not, it won't change them. Don't even try to comment on them. Don't tell anyone around you what you think of these facts, because it's not going to change what these facts are.
Amen.
Amen to you. So,
And amen to Conrad. I want to give him verbal props. We got a little secret project going on.
yeah.
I asked him to do something for me. It was less than a half hour, and he did it for me.
That's why he's the best.
Cheers to you. High five that shit.
Very good. Not a lot of interesting facts here. And this always surprises me when we have a show that is not that old, and I struggle to find information about
Yeah.
it. It's always bizarre.
2003 is not that far. You found interesting facts about stuff back in the 50s.
Now, there's going to be some information that seems obvious and redundant, but stick with it here.
Okay.
A pilot for the show is produced, but due to the lack of atmosphere, whatever that means, the WB didn't pick it up, and the show never went into production. So it was for the WB. It's for the WB. Are you really biting your lip? I feel like you want to say something related.
Well, I can say something related because I don't say that word.
Okay.
But whenever I hear WB,
WB.
WB. I watched Saturday Night Live today.
All right.
That's where I got that from. When I think of WB, I just know that there's the only thing great from a WB. Mm-hmm. Then the Animaniacs, was that on Warner Bros.?
No, that was on Fox.
Okay, well then, fuck my life. WB has never done anything for me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. When Clay gets out of the elevator at the Phoenix Foundation, you can see 3 portraits in the background. 2 are of Richard Dean Anderson, Macgyver, and Dana Elcar, Pete Thornton, from the original series. The plan was to get both actors for cameos later on, had the series been picked up.
So they thought, hey, we shouldn't try to get them for the pilot, the one that makes or breaks us.
Right.
They're like, we'll get them later on.
We'll save it for later. We'll save that red hot, creamy load for later. No, blow your load on the first one. Get this thing in the production. Everyone's got jobs.
Amen to that.
Didn't happen. Interesting facts over. That's it.
Wow.
That is not a lot.
That was quick and nimble.
Yeah, quick and nimble indeed. No one got back to me on Twitter, which is kind of a bummer. I was hoping someone would say, hey.
What's that guy got? That young Macgyver.
Jared Padalecki.
What the fuck's he got going on?
I would say next to nothing, if not nothing. He was in House of Wax, I believe, with Paris Hilton. He was in the Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, he was in the Gilmore Girls. I will remember that one.
He seems like a nice young guy.
He was also on Supernatural, which was the gayest show I've ever seen in my life.
So LBGT, LAMB friendly?
They love it.
The lambs love it?
It was that show was on the lam.
Supernatural. Is that show still on TV?
It can't be, right?
I'm looking at it on this IMDb app. It's rated at an 8.6, which is extremely high. How many episodes do you think they have?
Probably 112.
I will say that it is very high.
112.
266. 266.
Because of teenagers who have... That's all it is. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer's people, little teenage bop girls. The show was stupid. I watched...
You know what's really funny? Is that when you look at IMDb, it'll tell you all the characters they've played on the show. He is Sam Winchester, okay? Mm-hmm. He's also played Ezekiel, Gadriel, himself. So he's played Jared Padalecki on the show. He's also played Lucifer, Demon Sam, which his name is Sam Winchester, so he's played Demon Sam.
Right.
He's also played Gary Frankel, Leviathan, and he's played Meg Masters. So he's played a lady on the show. No doubt has made him probably very wealthy.
Just don't speak.
Okay.
You know what's what
I know,
I'm thinking.
I know what you're saying. Oh, boy.
Don't tell me because it hurts. It just hurts listening to that stuff.
We'll talk more about it in the break. And we're going to listen to a show that I love very much. It's a show that we love to do, I think.
I think so.
It's IBWIP. For over 8 years, Blake Clayton, the podcasting god, has brought you the best in roots music, adult comedy, and real talk with his ever-revolving cast of co-hosts in the form of It Burns When I Pee. Join one of the true podcast originators along with intern Heather and the Bottle Cap Kid as they play games, interview interesting characters, and just maybe uncover the meaning of life. New episodes of IBWIP can be found every Friday on the Fakakta Comedy Network. Check us out at fcfnetwork.com and join in on the fun. You know, in the last episode, we were talking about Drunken Lullabies. That was the promo that we ran.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know one man that doesn't love beer. The same goes for this. I don't know one man that doesn't love fun.
Yeah, I really do agree with you in the fact that show is about having fun, about having a good time. And that makes me happy. Like, when we do that show, I know that everybody's sitting around the table in front of the microphones, because we don't do it on the plane. You know, and everybody's having a good time. Everybody's having fun. I think everybody leaves here going, you know what? That wasn't a waste of time.
You know, I think you're on the fence a lot on IMDb, going back on what you want to do with it or how you want the future of it. But I truly believe not only is it your brainchild and your baby of almost 10 years now, but as we've talked about recently, it is a sounding board for all the people on the FCF network. It is a time for us to get together and have fun.
Everybody learn their chops. Everybody learn their chops on IBWIP.
That's absolutely right. It's a place for all of us we can sit side by side with folks from different podcasts and know that we're connecting and know that there's a kinship and fellowship, and we have a hell of a lot of fun doing it. So check that out. It comes out every Friday right here on the FCF network. It's free of charge, of course. IBWIP, right here on the FCF network. So let's dig into this pilot, but not after we find out what alert you got on your phone. Is there anything worth noting?
It's part of the... speaking of IBWIP,
yeah.
It's part of the planning of the IBWIP 10th anniversary party.
We definitely have that going on. I think at the end of the show, we're going to make an announcement regarding another kind of change to the FCF network coming up here.
When it's time to change, it's time to rearrange.
Oh, boy. Break down the pilot. Intro. Kind of scrolling. The screen is scrolling over the word MacGyver, while the star of the show, Jared Padalecki, known as Clay MacGyver, is giving you a very quick setup of what the show is going to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's like, my Uncle Angus,
Mm-hmm.
He 23 years ago, for 23 years, he's been teaching me the right, to do this, to do this on my own.
Yep. kind of setting it up, saying this is kind of what you're in store for. The next 45 minutes are going to be this. So then it opens up at Macgyver and some other fellow. I don't know if I ever got his name, but it's kind of his partner, his buddy.
Yeah, his right-hand man, but I never did get the name.
Well, they're standing at a counter, and you find it to be a fast food counter, and they're playing some sort of game. I don't know what the game is exactly. It almost seems like they're trying to add up the amount of the food to a certain number, and then they have to consume it.
Well, I think what they're doing is they are trying to outbid themselves.
So they're going back and forth and saying what they
they're
can
going
do.
back and forth and saying, okay, I can, all right, $23 worth of food. So if it was me and you,
Yeah.
let's say you said 20.
Yeah.
So say 20.
Okay. 20.
Okay, 22. So what I'm saying is, I'm raising you and saying, I bet you can't eat $22 of fast food.
And I would say you are right.
I don't know. I think Taco John's, you could probably eat $22 worth of food.
I am not joking. When I leave here, I'm going to have Taco John's.
Oh, I know you are. Tacos and sex every Monday night.
It's I'm going to have the fish tacos, which is not a play on words. It is an actual product that they have out right now. It's 2 for $4. I love fish tacos, don't you?
No, I don't like anything to do with fish.
Well, they sit down and they eat, and Jared Padalecki puts away an obnoxious and disgusting amount of food. And because he is able to eat it all without throwing up, I think the other guy has to pay for it.
Yeah, I didn't get the end result. Like, what was the path? Like, if I just bet you, okay, so I guess like if you can't eat the $24, you have to pay for all of it yourself. But if you do eat it, I have to pay for your food.
Maybe.
It's
I don't know. The
stupid.
rules were unclear, but
It
they
was
look like
very
they're-
WB, if you ask me.
And it's so WB, in fact, it was kind of WB is a network, a big network that was focusing on the youth and young people. And they're during this time, while he's eating all the food, they're playing a lot of like poppy punk music, like early aughts music.
I believe there was a Smash Mouth song.
Oh God,
I really believe there was a Smash Mouth song.
Well, they get done with the food. We really have no idea where they are, but they go outside, and it's all snowy, and there's kind of a mountainous terrain. There's a bunch of cop cars that come by. Immediately, Macgyver's like, "Yeah,
He
I
gets
got
like
a huge Meta World milk boner,
He gets a MacGyver boner.
a Mac boner."
A MacGyver boner. Yeah, so the snow police rush by, and he's like,
Snow police, they come to me in the snow.
"Snow police, they save me from dying." So him and his buddy, they come upon this scene, and at first I thought it was a car wreck.
Yeah, because they're taking a body
There
away.
are two bodies. One doesn't have a head.
Well, I did not see that.
The second one, it looks like it doesn't have a
What?
head. It's so
Jesus.
weird. So they're pulling these bodies out. You don't really know what's for sure going on.
And I'm wondering why Macgyver is able to walk among this crime scene.
Thank you, because I put that. I'm like, he just walks up, picks up a rock, puts it in his pocket,
Yeah.
and then the sheriff or whatever is talking to his men about the situation. It's like, we got to wait for the rescue crew, because what it is that there's a fear of an avalanche. What happened?
Right.
The earth somehow has broken in half, and there's a guy dangling in the middle. But there's people that died, but there's also people on the other side. But if they try to come back over this cliff, they could cause an avalanche.
Yeah, two giant crevasses have opened up, and let me take the opportunity real quick to ask you: Were you ever a fan of the original Macgyver? Did you ever watch that?
Callback. I think it's Will Forte that does MacGyver, right? MacGruber, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I ever watched. I knew of MacGyver. I knew that if you gave him a stick of gum and like a paperclip, he could like save the world.
When I was a kid, I was just walking around. I didn't know what was happening. I knew when Full House was on. That's what I knew was on TV. I never knew when MacGyver was on. But whenever it was on, I would try to watch it because I was like, this guy's doing crazy shit with household items. This is very cool to me.
Right.
So I was kind of a fan of that show, but I never really understood the Phoenix Foundation for who he worked for, and like what their role is in the government or what their clearances are. So when young Macgyver shows up on this crime scene, I didn't know if he had access to do this stuff, if he had flashed a badge, because if he did, we definitely didn't see it.
Right. Because I don't even remember the Phoenix Project or whatever it's called, like from the original. So when I'm watching this, I'm like, why is Clay just walking up and like, I got a big dick, I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm going to put this piece of coal in my pocket.
Yeah.
So there's this black guy that's trapped in the middle, right? And so all this, the sheriff's like, we're waiting for the airfield rescue crew, like us,
Yeah, he's like, there's been a natural gas explosion. You got to wait for the mountain crew, like us,
because we don't want to have an avalanche.
Yep.
Clay's like, no. He goes over to his car.
Yeah.
And just starts ripping all this stuff out of his trunk of his truck.
This guy's talking to him. He's like, hey, you can't do this. And Macgyver, you can just see the metaphorical middle finger in that dude's face, and all he's doing is putting together a plan. He's like, what is around me? What do I have? What can I use to be of help?
Right. So he's like got 2 poles. He's got an inflatable bed. He's got a camping stove.
Yep.
And he's just throwing all this shit in a big backpack. And so he gets up and he starts walking to the area. And
I feel like this is something where like the typical MacGyver sidekick is going like, he's naming all the things he's back. He's like, what are you going to do with all those things, Mac? Come on, let's get out of here.
I pick up garbage.
That's my go-to.
I love it.
But yeah, it's the typical sidekick. He's spelling it out for the audience. Why are you taking this? What are you taking that for, MacGyver?
That's
What's the
my
plan?
air mattress, MacGyver.
I sleep on that thing, Mac.
Why are you taking a camping stove? Where are you going? So anyway, he walks up to the crime scene or whatever, the catastrophe, and the head cop's like, no. And he just goes past him. It's like, just like, whatever. And he starts running. This guy has just ate $24.
I didn't even think about that.
$24 worth of McDonald's.
He's got a gut full of shit.
Gut full of shit, and he's running top speed with in snow that's up to his knees with about a 60-pound backpack on, running the shit out of it.
I think he's running to the song "Get Free" by the Vines. Do you ever know the Vines?
No, see, I didn't recognize any of these songs.
Yeah. It's a testament to the time. They're taking popular, rock or poppy punk music and blasting that in. And so the kids watching it, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah,
I know that.
I love him. This is great.
So he's like hides behind a log, and he starts unpacking all of his shit. And he's like, here's my camp stove, and it's got like a little propane tank on it or something.
Right.
And he uses it like a bomb.
Yeah, he sets it up as a bomb and throws it over and causes a huge avalanche.
He really does.
Now this avalanche would show up on the Richter scale in California. This is the hugest, overly done avalanche of all time. The shots that they show are, and I'm thinking to myself, now when I'm watching him taking apart that stove, I'm thinking, why did he bring the whole fucking stove? Second of all,
you'll find out.
Second of all, I have 2 camping stoves, and the gas part of it is not on the inside. So why isn't he just bringing a fucking container of propane?
Got me.
I found out later on now. So he causes this huge avalanche, which then makes them able to get across to the other side.
I don't understand why
it still
that
didn't
is.
make sense.
Yeah.
So the black guy is still hanging from like this rocky cliff in between.
MacGyver's on the front line. The avalanche comes down. It apparently makes that first crevasse, like you said, navigable. And then everyone else back there, all the cops kind of see that.
Like, we can get across to the other side.
Yeah, so MacGyver goes to the next step, and then you're right. He comes across the black guy who's stuck in that crevasse.
And, do you know how he comes across this, how he gets to the other side? He builds a sled.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He sprays something on like the lid of it.
Like a cooking spray, so it's slick, and he's got a little sheet metal piece.
It is so horrible.
It's obnoxious, right? Like some of the things they do are a little obnoxious. Like I think we could have done without this.
Right.
You know?
You have to understand that if you're watching this MacGyver, he's going to build ridiculous things out of stuff that you didn't think he had.
Maybe he did it because he knew time was of the essence, and he's like, I got to get over there as soon as possible. I don't know.
Yes, and time. Oh my God, time is way of the essence. So and then he gets to this guy, and he's basically he straps on the inflatable bed onto his back.
Yeah.
He puts the cooking stove like grids.
Yeah, those little round metal pieces that
he puts them on his feet.
He tapes duct tapes them,
and then he crawls in like gives this guy like a rope and says like tie this.
Yeah,
and then he just waits for the firemen to show up.
Yeah. So he basically, the guy's about ready to fall. He gets in this rope or something. He clips it on, and so the black guy's just kind of hanging there.
And he's just he's with all his strength. He's keeping his weight and this black guy's weight.
And Macgyver really had no plans to go back up. I think his plan was get down there, secure this guy, and then wait for help to come. And thankfully, they came very quickly. Mac, his buddy, is talking up some girl back at the campsite, some hot girl. I don't know if you're going to give this buxom blonde a bump.
No.
Okay. But Macgyver's like, hey, you know what? I know this girl wants to party with us. We can't do it. We've got important work to do. I got to get back to the Phoenix Foundation because this was no natural gas explosion.
It was
a terrorist attack. Oh, no.
You know how he found that out?
Because he high-fived it?
You know how he found out it was a terrorist attack?
That rock he picked up.
That rock he picked up, he poured some water on it, and all of a sudden he found out it was a terrorist attack.
Well, the rock he picked up, it seemed out of place. It seemed
Adrian!
It seemed like the rock had come out of the crevasse from the explosion, and he was looking at it like, this is bizarre. And I don't know what the water did. We'll find out a little bit more about that rock later, but it was a pretty big jump to make that it was a terrorist attack.
Right, he's like, I got to go to the Phoenix Foundation. This wasn't an avalanche. This was a terrorist attack.
Big jump to make, but he wasn't wrong, it turns out.
No, of course he's not wrong. Next scene, you see him in an elevator at Phoenix Foundation, and there's this little old lady. Where she came from, why she's at the Phoenix Foundation.
Why is this old lady at the Phoenix
Foundation?
Why
does she have clearance? I have no idea. But she goes, you're not the little MacGyver, are you?
I want to say she even said Young MacGyver. The name of the show, Young MacGyver, is said multiple times throughout the show.
I think she said little MacGyver.
Okay.
And then I think the Hispanic man said Young MacGyver.
Okay. But yeah, she's like, yeah, I know your uncle, Angus. He's a great man. He fixed my hearing aid with a paperclip and a jellied bean. And then the Hispanic guy comes in. He's like, yo, you that Young MacGyver guy? He's like,
Bato.
Yes. He's like, yo, he's the reason I grew a mullet.
But I'm bald now, but yeah. Then
it's a scene of comic relief.
Sure.
And paying homage to the show before them.
And top off to paying a homage, he walks into the main office of the Phoenix Foundation, and you see the classic pic of the original MacGyver, a big, huge portrait on the wall.
I wonder if that was taken out of like an NBC studio executive's closet, and they just said, you know what, we used to have this like for realsies up in the hallway here. Let's put it up in the show.
You know where they got it?
Where's that?
It was from a TV guide, probably. It was probably Photoshop from a TV Guide cover.
Nice. I wish I had one.
Do you remember TV Guide?
Of course I remember TV Guide. It still exists today, but I think it's bigger. Remember when it was the size of like whatever the sizes I'm showing you with my hand right
a Reader's Digest.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I knew you would love this, and I wrote this down because I knew you would love this. He had lots of sliding doors. He had to go a lot of clearance, a lot of sliding doors.
Sliding doors. He goes up to like this big secure door. And he looks in he puts his hand on this thing. He's like, all right, give me the password, you guy. And he says, Young MacGyver. He says, that's not it at all. And he's like, thank God it's not my password.
Right. It's Clay MacGyver.
Yeah.
Speaking of Clay MacGyver, I have to go to the bathroom.
That's fine. Go pee, and I will drudge through this next part of the show myself. The door opens up to a laboratory area. And here you have all the technicians, the engineers, the scientists associated with the Phoenix Foundation. But it's very bizarre. Because not only do you have all this technical stuff, but the entire room is black. You can't see any walls. You don't know the shape of the room. It's just like they painted everything black, put all this equipment in there, and then put actors in there and say, do like you're doing high-tech stuff. Press all the buttons. But you cannot see any of the walls. There is a giant screen in the back that has a bunch of numbers that are constantly shifting like it's the goddamn Matrix. It's not the Matrix at all. It's the Phoenix Foundation. So they're talking, and they say, hey, what's going on with this explosion? You think it's a terrorist thing? It's like, well, I think it's from the United Liberation Front. They've caused explosions like this in the past, and just like the one here in the mountains. And in the mountains, we've got this rock here that you brought us, and it looks like it contains the Canary Diamond. And this is a Canary Diamond mine. So there are terrorists out there making explosions in the mine, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on at this point. And, at the end of the show, I'm not sure I know what's going on either. They travel, they go from that scene where they're in this pitch black laboratory, and all of a sudden you see a phone call. It's a phone call from West Africa to New York, and I still don't know what's happening at this point. And again, I don't know if I'll ever know what's happening. But you have these phone calls, and it's basically the kicking the cat scene. It's the Alfred Hitchcock showing the villain kick the cat, so you know it's the bad guy. The way they talk, the discussions they have, you know that they're the evil parts of the show.
But you also should recognize that this black guy that's on the phone from West Africa is the man that Clay MacGyver saved in the trench.
I feel like they allude to that, but I didn't know. The guy was wearing like a bunch of winter clothes, and he was all bundled up, and he was talking.
Time when
The show is built on the back of his songs.
And the wind blows.
All the leaves are brown.
That was a different song.
Whoops. And then, so the black guy was in Africa where it's hot, so he was dressed differently. I
knew it was him.
All black people look the same to me. So
Whoa!
What's that?
It's not that kind of show.
Whoops. No, that's not true. I don't think that. But I couldn't tell from seeing him very briefly at that point and then seeing him on the phone call that it was the same guy. It definitely turns out to be the same guy, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, then there's this conversation between the general and Clay. Again, I guess this is like a comedic kind of a snarky, Clay is a young man, and the general's, you got a lot to learn, basically. So what it boils down to. And he's like, your uncle, thought you would be great at this job. He was just worried about you being too young.
Yeah.
Well, he is. He's 15.
He is, in fact, a young MacGyver. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so
there's this girl here who's working. Oh, you got something to say?
Tyler.
Was her name Tyler?
Tyler.
I never got her name, but she looked like Joey Lauren Adams. You know Joey Lauren Adams? She played the gay lady in Chasing Amy.
All I know is that, spoiler alert, there is 2 butt shots of this girl that's going to cause her to get a butt bump.
A booty bump?
Big time booty bump. Oh, God, just thinking about it gets me a boner.
But I mean, let's be honest here. There's no nudity in this show. So they're just shots in her pants that you thought were awesome?
Amazing shots in her pants, and she's running away. Next scene, you see the black guy sitting getting his shoes shined, and a white guy comes and sits down next to him, and like, and there's a lot of like bad guy banter between the two of them. And then the white guy goes, "You got a light?" And the black guy hands him a matchbook, open it up, and there's coordinates in it.
Yeah.
So basically, what we find out is the ULF blew up this area. Nice.
That's Joey Lauren Adams. Yeah. Do you know who that is? You recognize her?
She has a squeaky voice.
Kind of.
Yeah.
She kind of reminds me of this girl.
I think that's what I thought she was.
Okay.
We find out that the ULF blew up this new area because they found all these diamonds, these
canary diamonds.
Canary diamonds, and they blew it up because they didn't want competition.
Is that okay? Is that what that was? I feel like I was getting lost in a lot of this stuff.
So then, I have no life. I pay attention to this shit. It's fine. So they have a prisoner from the ULF in Phoenix. And Clay goes in to talk to him, and this is a white room that glows. I don't have my glasses on. I cannot see that.
Sorry.
It just looks like a half-naked woman to me.
It is exactly that.
My eyes are better than I expected. So Clay says, they got somebody in there interrogating the guy. He's not saying anything. Clay's like, there's got to be something different. And he goes into this room, and it's the weirdest white glowing room. It's like a clean room. There's like no lines. There's no corners. There's
it's the complete opposite of the lab room I discussed while you're taking a monster piss, where that was all black. But this room is the opposite. Again, you cannot see any walls. It is completely like you're in the Matrix.
Overly white. And so Clay goes in there and he's like, "Tell me who you work for." And the guy just stands there. And he's like, and he looks over like where the camera would be. I was like, I thought that would work. It works on movies or whatever. So Clay's like, So Clay decides to shave this guy's head. Now, I don't know a lot about precincts. I don't know a lot about the law. But I don't think if you're interrogating somebody, you can just shave their head. He shaves his head, and come to find out, on the back of the guy's head,
it's like the key they're looking for.
But
this is another massive jump that this guy makes, and it pays off in a huge way. It's wildly ridiculous, I think. And if I was that terrorist or whoever that suspect was, I would be going batshit nuts trying to stop that guy from shaving my head. I think a lot of times those terrorists will do anything, including killing themselves, to keep information from getting out. So the fact that he just stood there and ate it, very bizarre.
Very, very bizarre. I just got a text message from my wife.
Okay.
And this takes, we need to express this live on the show, but we are on a flight right now, okay?
Yep.
Between 12 midnight and 1 a.m., there's going to be wind gusts up to 90 miles an hour, which of course is going to affect our flight.
Oh, without a doubt.
Hopefully we'll be landed by then, but just want to let you know that, yes, I want to make you aware of it.
You say 90 miles an hour?
That's what she says.
No way.
That's what she says, 90 miles per
That's
hour.
very dangerous.
Also,
winds.
just got a text message from Jacob, our good friend, and it says, this weather has me nervous.
What is happening outside?
I don't know. We're down in the basement. We're safe. No, we're not? Are you concerned? Should we
Well, we're in an airplane.
Should we land this plane? Or should we go trudge through it?
I think we're good to go.
Let's do it.
Let's keep going.
Let's do it for Dee Dee.
So they are dispatched to Sierra Leone.
Yeah, they just land on an aircraft, and when they get off the aircraft and they're walking through like the aircraft carrier, they're just walking through, and the general knows where he's going. Like nobody's like, do I take a left here? There's nobody guiding them. The general's just walking through portholes and stuff, and like, oh yeah, I know where I'm going.
And he says, hey, you guys, I'm putting you on a reconnaissance only. That's what you're doing. You're going to report back to me every 5 minutes to let me know what's going on. Yep. And you're going to take this very sexy petty officer with you. She's very attractive. I want to have sex with her. And I say that. He didn't say that.
I said it too.
And he says, I want 5-minute updates. So he's like, all right, no problem. So he gets out there, and they're on the beach. These two broads are hanging out. And then Mac says, I'm out of here. I'm going to go check this stuff out. So he goes to a village. It's like a kind of a dirt native village thing. And there's a guy beating another guy on the ground to techno music.
Right. But before that, Tyler is on the beach setting up a DirecTV.
Setting up a DirecTV?
Oh, this huge
DirecTV
dish.
So that's how they're communicating every 5 minutes to each other. Well, here I see it's a sea of black men, really.
Oh yeah,
this is the dark continent, and P Diddy, he got it right. Dark black dudes look good in like Snow White outfits, because there's a dude out there, the guy who's in charge, he's wearing all white. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, and that's the guy that saved that Clay saved.
It turns out to be the main guy.
So then Clay's like sneaking through this camp / village / whatever it is, and he discovers a missile.
Yeah,
he just lifts up a tarp on a truck.
And I don't know what he's thinking, but Mac is completely unarmed. I think he's out there just kind of winging it. He doesn't have any weapons. I don't think the original MacGyver was really into carrying firearms, but MacGyver has nothing to protect himself except for his cunning. So he's there, and
Cunnilingus?
He's just eating out broads left and right to stay safe. But he puts like a quarter in the tire, and then he's like messing with wires and stuff. You're like, what's he doing with that?
It makes no sense. Come to find out, they're bad guys. The diamond buyers come in and say
they're white guys.
Right, the white guy is like, "Hey, it's the last deal we're doing. You guys are shady. I'm not doing this anymore." He checks it, and he's like, "This is it." He's like, "Okay," they're like, "Whatever." Money exchanges hand, and then there's another black guy who had put a diamond like in his shoe. He was wearing like Chucks, like low top Chucks. And then they come out, and he's getting his ass beat because they found it. He's about ready to cut off his hand.
Yeah, did you ever watch the movie Blood Diamond?
I heard about it, but I've never watched it.
It reminded me a lot of that, where you have kind of black on black violence. These guys, these terrorists, these gun runners, they will enslave other black folk, and they'll take them out, and they'll make them pan the rivers for diamond or
gold. Why are you going to enslave your own people?
I don't know.
Listen, if it was me,
yeah,
this has happened to your people for so long.
Yep.
Go get some white people, enslave them, make them do it.
Turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, don't dish your own fucking people.
Don't diss your homies and make them pan for diamonds. That's exactly what they do. So they've something else too. You mentioned the exchange of the money for whatever. There's a couple of like trade-offs or swaps in this point and they all go extremely well.
Oh, smooth as pie.
Every movie I've ever seen, when there's a trade-off for like guns or money or drugs,
something goes bad every time. Not this time.
nope, silky smooth.
So by this point, Clay sees this guy getting attacked. He jumps out and tries to help him. Boom. He ends up getting captured. Both Clay and this guy.
He tried to steal a diamond. They're going to cut off his hand, and he puts a barrel over that guy's head.
It wasn't even like a real barrel. It was like a fabric barrel. It like wobbled. It was weird. Obviously, when they get captured, the general loses contact with Clay. What's going to happen? Taylor, the general and the captain of the ship are like, you girls need to come back right now.
Yeah.
We've lost contact with Clay. Obviously, the girl that's in the Navy has to leave.
Because I'm going to be court-martialed if
right.
I don't listen to the orders.
Taylor's like, you know what? I'm a civilian. They can't do nothing to me.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to stay here and find my boy, Clay.
They go back to the main bad guy. You've got the black fellow who's going to get his hand cut off. He's tied up. You got Macgyver right across from him, tied up. And then the main guy is like, the bad guy, he's like, hey, this is the reason I'm doing all this. It's
right.
the cliched, here's my plan. This is who I am. This is why I do what I do.
Right. I'm spelling it out for all the viewers.
And then Macgyver saying, he being very righteous about everything. And
do something good.
Yeah.
Do something good. Something positive.
Yeah.
Right here is where you see Tyler in her first awesome butt shot.
Oh, I got to go back and watch this.
You have to. I had a metamilk boner.
That's the best.
She's running away from the camera. She's got those really. Oh God, I can see her butt and I love it.
You're seeing it right now?
In my eyes.
Are you milk boning out over there?
I don't want to talk about that too much. It's for you.
So the main terrorist, his daughter had been hurt or killed or something, and this is his kind of way to get back, and he's probably making some money too. But the bad guys, they set up a bomb and leave. It's another trope of these things. It's like, just shoot these guys. But I think in a way too, they were also trying to blow up the camp to erase evidence.
Yeah, they're trying to, because the white diamond buyer is like, you need to erase this whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
They blow up the whole area with CGI, very poor CGI. Push one button and about 45 big explosions end up happening.
Nice. Outside, they're kind of all packing up and leaving, and then Joey Lauren Adams or Tyler, whatever her name is, or Justice League of America, JLA. She comes upon the site. She frees her friends, and the bad guys are blowing everything up, eliminating the evidence of them being there right as they're escaping. And elsewhere, the black dudes, again, they meet up with some more white guys.
Some more bad guys.
And I don't know, I think they're getting like weapons this time or something.
They're trading the money that they got for the diamonds. They're trading it for this chip, that this computer chip that locks up defense systems.
So kind of paralyzes them for a short period while you're firing a missile at them, right?
Right.
So Mac starts to track the vehicle because he knows they left with the missiles.
Why do you say Mac?
Macgyver.
Oh, you're not calling him Clay?
You can call him Clay if you want.
Call him Mac Lethal?
I think that's what they used to call him on the show, right?
Okay,
Mac?
I'm sorry. I was confused.
That's all right. Well,
I digress.
Macgyver or Clay, I'm sorry. He starts to track the
quarter that he's stuck on the tire, and that way he knows, if I see tire tread with that quarter, I know that missile is on that trailer.
Yep. So he follows that, and of course they come across it, and they're getting ready to fire this missile at that offshore ship, right?
Yeah, and here's my thing. Okay, so they knew the ship was going to be out there, so then they sold these diamonds to get the money to buy this ship just so they could shoot this one ship?
It seems odd. It's like a bizarre plan. Mac is like, I'm going to try to find a way down to the shore where they got these missiles, but we got a couple of guys up top here we need to take care of. Why don't you guys go contact the ship and let them know what's going on? So, okay. So Macgyver gets into this Jeep and
takes a couple dudes out.
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm going to tie this rope to the Jeep and I'm going to scale down. I'm going to spelunk down this cliff. But the Jeep rolls away. Magically, it shifts somehow. I don't understand how it shifts.
The clutch popped off and the emergency brake, and it goes the wrong way. He's like, shit, what am I going to do? He looks at a tattoo that he has on his arm, and
he gets inspiration from his tattoo. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he basically repels down this mountain using the two guys that he beat the crap out of. And they freak out because the further he goes down the mountain, the closer they get to the edge of the mountain. And this was so unnecessary. Obviously, he gets to the bottom of the mountain. Boom, he's on level ground. right before those two guys would fall over the side, and they're tied up. They have duct tape over their mouth, but you hear them both at the same time go,
Yeah,
Like,
the whole time they're like,
Yeah.
and then like a sigh of relief.
"Ooh."
And I think they had duct tape on, which is another staple of MacGyver. MacGyver always had duct tape on.
Always.
So then he is attacked, and he knocks out another guy with a hose. He's about ready to shoot him, and he chops this hose, and it whips up in this guy's face and knocks him out. He's a big, beefy dude with a machine gun.
Right. So, and then Tyler's like, hey, contacts the ship. Hey, guess what? There's a missile going to come at you.
Yeah.
Be ready.
Yep.
Move your aircraft carrier real quick. Well, obviously they can't.
Yep. And then he confronts the main bad guy. He's the only guy left, I guess, down there. And the missiles launch, but he knocks the main guy out, and he takes his little control thingy on his belt, and he's like, I'm going to reroute these missiles or whatever.
And this missile, first of all, I've never seen a missile filled up with gas. Like
is that what they did?
Well, it was like hydrogen or something.
Okay.
But they stuck it. Like you go to the gas station and you put the thing in, the nozzle in. They did that to a missile. I've never seen that.
I've never
Second
seen
of
that
all,
either.
this missile takes about 45 minutes at top speed
They had a lot of time.
to get to that boat.
They had a lot, because I'm not joking. They launched it at this point, but he had time to knock the guy out, grab his thing to reroute the missile, take it into the control room, futz around with it for a few minutes. The bad guy wakes up. They go in. They have a hell of a tussle.
Hell of a tussle.
And then they get trapped. The guy gets knocked down. He gets trapped underneath a shelf that falls over. He uses the bad guy's shoe to reach for that thing, reroutes at the last second.
Right at the last second. And it's so cheesy. The missile is heading straight for it, and then right at the last second turns to the right and then blows up this island that supposedly was not there earlier. If you look, when they originally show the ship out at sea, at sea,
Nothing out there.
there is no island. When this missile redirects, they're just parked right next to an island. Horrible CGI, blows up an island.
This whole ship knows the missile's coming. They know they're paralyzed by whatever this thing that he bought from these other white dudes, and yet they're all embracing impact. So when it misses, I have a feeling this entire ship is covered in urine.
Oh yeah, there's like, oh god,
I would have
so
been
close.
pissing my pants.
Thank God for MacGruber.
MacGruber pulls himself up, seeing that he has saved the day, sweaty and satisfied. He says, "What a beautiful day."
And during this, he has this weird eye thing going on, like he's tripping on acid or something. I don't understand why he's like having this eye thing going on.
Why did he say, "What a beautiful day"? Is that something the other MacGyver used to say?
It could be. It could be. I don't remember that. Or just segue into that U2 song.
Beautiful day. They didn't. I don't know if they could.
Well, there was a
before
U2
that.
song at the end, I think.
Oh, was it really?
I think it sounded like him.
Well, either
the cheap
way.
version.
Either way, that was
You
the
won.
end of the pilot, right?
Oh, thank God.
But just the beginning of the turbulence.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
45 minutes, CW, taking an existing property, trying to give it new life, younger generation. But why didn't this work?
You want me to start?
Go for it.
At this time, with the WB, they had Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They had Dawson's Creek. Teenagers don't want to watch a teenage kid fight missile people.
Yeah.
Okay, they want to see vampires. They want to see love. They want to see the high school kids at the game.
Yeah.
They
The big game, the big dance, the drama.
They don't want.
the sex.
They don't understand any of this missile. You know the.
They don't want to
Cuban
see missile
crisis.
people.
No, they don't want to see the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
That is number one why this didn't work.
Okay. So it gave a dramatic element to something kids weren't interested.
Number two,
Yeah.
way too expensive.
Yeah, MacGyver was all over the place. Not only in this, but the old MacGyver series, he was always at some new Mexican villa having a fight with the cartels, or he was in, Russia in a bunker somewhere. Yep. There's always a new location. It is an expensive show.
There's always CGI. You always got to blow up a whole set.
Yeah. Totally. I agree with that. That
Duct
is
tape's
probably
not
expensive.
cheap.
No, duct tape is not cheap. Even the cheap stuff's not cheap, right?
What's the point of using it?
Yeah.
The cheap stuff.
If we were to improve this, I don't know. I would say Maybe not put it on the WB. Maybe put it on a channel
Right.
where you are...
NBC, CBS.
Yeah, or CVS, whatever you want to do. Show it at a local CVS as far as I care. But adults may be interested. A new generation of adults may be interested in the further adventures of the old
20-somethings.
Yeah, maybe so.
But to me, if you're on the WB, you're like 19 and below. You know what I mean? I mean, that's your audience. That's your go-to audience.
Yeah, I would say so. If it had survived, obviously you're going to have a new adventure every week. I don't know. The friend was kind of in the beginning, but he didn't stick with him very long.
Never saw him again. Didn't even find his name out.
Yeah, no kidding.
That blonde girl, never saw if that friend hooked up with that blonde girl.
Ooh, boy.
I would have liked to have known.
But it's hard not to give her a bump. I know you're giving the booty bump, but
I can only do a booty bump.
oh boy. Let's start our final descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
This one actually has a Rotten Tomato score, which always befuddles me, which shows do and do not. 71% of the audience who watched it enjoyed it. 71%.
Okay.
There's no critic reviews on the Rotten Tomatoes, which is mainly known for, but 71% of people liked it. IMDb, are you cheating right now? Or
No, I told myself I wasn't going to do that anymore.
Okay.
I'm actually prepping.
Okay, well, what do you think, IMDb?
Teeny bopper 7.5.
4.8. That's from 148 ratings. I didn't see any critic reviews out there, but I did see some viewer reviews. I'm glad they didn't put this show into production. 1 out of 10 scars. For one thing, Macgyver in the original series, he states that he's only a child. So how in the world would he have a nephew? Or he was an only child. So how would he have a nephew? I would hope that the people who want to put this into production, a young Macgyver series, would make it about Macgyver when he was younger, and not a make-believe nephew he never had to begin with. So that's interesting.
That's good. I like that statement.
Yeah, they also had young Indiana Jones with River Phoenix, R.I.P., right? Remember that?
I don't remember it.
You remember, Indiana Jones?
Never watched any of them.
You never watched any Indiana Jones?
No.
Holy cow. But it starred DSJ's mom's love interest, Harrison Ford.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
I've seen the covers.
But they tried to do a series with young Indiana Jones, the early adventures thereof. Didn't work. Young Macgyver misses the atmosphere of the original series, 4 out of 10 scars. I've been thinking about why Macgyver hasn't had its follow-up in the past 20 years. Then I found this piece of wrongly connected shoelaces and gum. What is missing from the original atmosphere is the voiceover where Macgyver explains what he was doing. As a child, I think I had a good understanding of physics and chemistry before I got into my curriculum and made things a lot easier at school. Of course, times change, but I think one of the niches of the show was that silent education, which was written in almost every episode.
I don't even remember that silent education thing. I don't remember that at all.
I did not remember that until I read this, but yes, there was a narration.
Okay.
So that was an interesting portion that they took out for whatever reason. Trying to use a nephew is stupid. 1 out of 10 scars. True fans of the original Macgyver series made it clear and reiterated several episodes that Mac was an only child. People are diehard Macgyver fans who are not going to let this shit pass.
And they all had their mullets, and they're like, listen, this is the way they... But, to be honest with you, if you're a hardcore fan of anything, you know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Uncle Macgyver? Macgyver could be an uncle. I was an aunt around 13. My dad was an uncle when he was born. His nephew was 10 to 16 years old. About not being said that Macgyver had siblings, this could be explained. So another portion where these people are so
they're
ingrained.
obsessed with the uncle-nephew thing.
That is a real downfall for this show for some people. I don't think that really plays into a factor what I feel about the show, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Landing the plane.
It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. I just asked Harrison Ford.
Yeah. R.I.P.
What's left of him.
R.I.P. Penelope. Wish you wouldn't have died.
The show is built on the back of his songs.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have to give this a rating.
We have to.
If we were to stop the show right now, we'd be doing a real disservice. I can see this pilot episode just sitting on a couch somewhere, biting its fingernails, waiting for us to grade it.
If you want to, we have another 20 hours that we can do this on the memory card.
I prefer not to.
Okay.
But somebody say, how do you know what to rate this show? And I think it's simple. It's all spelled out for us via our scoring system, 1 through 7, based on the characters from the classic 90s television program Wings. Number 1's the worst you can get, Roy Biggins, the big fat guy behind the Aero mask counter.
Disgusting,
Big-
lazy, fat fuck.
The antithesis to the show.
I love that word.
All the way up to the best you can get, Gillette. Number 7, Brian
My
Hackett.
man.
Yeah.
Brian Hackett, my
Hell-
man.
Hell yeah.
Put that bomber jacket on. Have your hair flying in the wind.
Hell yeah.
Put on some aviator glasses. Get the bitches.
That's what he's all about.
All about the bitches.
So, Captain Philip rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate young MacGyver?
All right, this is kind of difficult. I have trouble believing this kind of stuff. Like, this couldn't happen. So I have trouble basing that in reality. I don't like that guy, the kid. I didn't like him. I don't like him on anything he's done. I love Gilmore Girls, but I didn't like him either. I have to give it the booty bump, don't I?
You do have to give it a booty bump.
Tyler's booty bump. I'll give it a 3.
Give it a 3. Second 3 in a row. I looked like that was very painful for you to do.
I wanted to go lower.
Yeah.
But how can I give a Hail Hitler a 3 and not give this one?
I agree with you. I would say this is a 3 as well. This is not very good.
High five that shit.
High five, or matching scores.
Been a while.
I kind of like the kid who played MacGyver, young MacGyver.
Did you watch the Gilmore Girls?
No.
Okay, then you wouldn't like him.
Okay.
Did you watch Supernatural?
No.
Then you wouldn't have liked this guy.
I've only seen 265 of the 266 episodes of Supernatural. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Nerd.
I've never seen it. Actually, when I used to go to the gym, they would always play it. It looked fucking terrible.
At the gym?
Yeah, they would have at Fitness America. They have like 15 to 20 TVs on either side of the ceiling. So whenever you're running on a treadmill, you could see what's up there, and then you could punch in on the treadmill. Oh, I want to hear number 7's audio, so you could hear it. I never watched that. It looked terrible.
That's terrible.
It's awful. Yeah, I don't. Anyway, I kind of like him in that role. I liked MacGyver, but this just wasn't very good. It was a lot of things didn't make sense, you know.
Right.
Like the missile taking so long, or why did the room where all the techno stuff have to be like all black? Let's put some walls. Let's make this as realistic as we can.
And why do you have to gas up a missile?
Yeah, and it's really like MacGyver. He would be dead very quickly. How many times? How many situations? Because MacGyver was like, I don't want to hurt people. It's a lot of knocking people out.
Right.
You're going to have to kill a few people, MacGyver. Right. I'm sorry. These people want to kill you.
Put a bullet between their fucking eyes.
They're going to kill innocent people. You're going to have to kill some people. MacGyver would not make it past, week number 2 without,
a big brother?
Without a big brother. That's right. So is that a reference to the show Big Brother?
Yes, you said he would make it through 2 weeks. I go, of Big Brother? Like he would get voted off.
I got you. Oh, boy. With that, we close the book on young MacGyver, never to be mentioned again. Ever. But we're not done. As long as there's pilots out there floating in the ether, we're going to take our fish nets out and scoop them up like a goddamn goldfish and put them out there for everyone to see. So join us next time, won't you, when we watch the pilot episode of Genesis 2. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. A scientist has been preserved in suspended animation wakes up to find himself in a primitive society in the future. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube.
You know what to do, too.
That's exactly right. A lot of other people know to go to CouchPilotSPodcast.com.
Yeah, that should be your home base. But don't forget, you still need to go to FCFnetwork.com. And that gives you all the portholes to all the other shows. We've got new shows being added.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Something I want to mention.
Let's just do it.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
You know what? Like Tone Loc said,
just do it.
Let's do it.
There's a new podcast on the FCF network we're very proud to talk about today. It's called Let's Try This. It's got a good couple of folks locally here, Kevin and Stephanie, and they're a newly married couple who are exploring the ins and outs of their relationships.
And their bodies.
And their bodies, too, live on air. No, it's as we talked about earlier, podcasting is a very intimate medium. And it genuinely is, because you really do get to know a lot of the people. If you're trying to fill up, a half hour to an hour's worth of content, you can't script all that shit week after week. It's going to be free form, and you're going to learn about that person. So it's interesting to me that even though these people might know each other very well, they're going to get to know each other even better by having these intimate conversations where they're face-to-face talking to microphones, and we're going to learn about them right along with them.
Yeah, and the show is new enough that you can get caught up real quick. I mean, there's probably about 8 or 9 episodes right now.
Right, yeah.
And it's very easy to get caught up. And that's important, because there's a lot of podcasts you find. You're like, oh, there's 96 episodes. Dee has gone back and went, listen to like 6 or 8 of them a week.
Yeah, this is episode 69, hilarious. So she's got a lot to go back to, right? You're right. Is it the word 69?
69. That's when the guy puts his mouth on tacos.
It's like the mouth to genitals. Right? Yes. See, you get it.
Fuck 90-mile-an-hour wind. We just
you get it. Let's not wrap this up at all. Let's weather the storm. But yes, go check them out. They're a proud part of the FCF network. You can find them on our website. You can go on iTunes, subscribe to their show. They got I'm not sure, what day do we land on? Is it every Wednesday?
They do every Thursday.
Every Thursday they're coming out. So yeah, we're trying to get a show every day of the week. We got a few more cooking right now, so we're going to have some new shows out to you soon. We're very excited.
And yeah, so go to fcfnetwork.com and you will see all their links to their social medias. They're really big on Twitter. They have fun on Twitter. They're young.
Yeah.
They're millennials.
Yep.
They know how to do all that stuff. So check out Let's Try This.
Absolutely. Call us, 910-PILOTS-1. Call us any time of the day. Leave us a message. We're going to play it on the show. We're going to talk about it. We have a lot of fun. We've gotten some incredible phone calls in the past. Honestly, it's been really cool having that. It's great.
Yes, man.
Yeah, it's been. And Dee in Australia, she sent us an email all the way from Down Under,
Queensland.
From Perth.
Let's have a Foster's.
Absolutely. Love Australian brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. Anything else?
Thanks to Failure to Launch, because if it wasn't for them giving us a plug, Dee would have never heard the show. You
know what it seems like to me? We got a Failure to Launch bump of 200 listeners and 1 stuck. We'll take it.
I'll take it.
Anything else you want to mention before we?
No, I mean, I don't like to fill up a lot of time afterwards. It's been a long show. We've taken paper clips, gum, a rubber band, and made a podcast out of it.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters to me. CouchPilotSPodcast.com, FCFNetwork.com. Everything you ever need to know about all of our shows are those 2 places.
And with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
I love you a lot. Super a lot.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.